There comes a moment in every marriage when the glossy surface of romance begins to fade and the real work of partnership begins. It is the moment when two people, each carrying their own hopes and wounds and rhythms, suddenly discover a difference they did not anticipate. A difference that is not about love or loyalty or intention. A difference that sits in the most vulnerable part of human connection. The place where affection meets desire. The place where closeness becomes physical and emotional at the same time. The place where intimacy lives. Not every couple discovers this challenge early. Some realize it slowly. Some realize it suddenly. But eventually, many couples face the truth that they do not share the same level of desire. One wants more. One wants less. One reaches out. The other retreats. One feels rejected. The other feels pressured. And in homes across the world, people whisper this struggle to themselves in the dark because they feel ashamed to speak it aloud. They think it means something is wrong with them. Or wrong with their partner. Or wrong with their marriage. But the truth is this struggle is far more common than anyone admits. This difference in desire is not a sign that the marriage is broken. It is a sign that the marriage is real. It is a reminder that two people will never want the same things in the same ways at the same time. And yet there is a way forward if both are willing to walk it. So today, I want to speak to the couple who loves each other but feels stuck. The couple who is tired of feeling misunderstood. The couple who wonders why something so natural can feel so complicated. And I want to remind you that intimacy is not just a physical act. It is an emotional language. It is the place where two hearts learn to communicate truth with kindness. It is the place where partnership becomes deeper and more human. Take a breath for a moment and imagine this. Imagine standing next to the person you promised your life to. Imagine looking at them without frustration and without fear. Imagine seeing their vulnerability just as clearly as you see your own. And imagine realizing that mismatched desire is not an enemy. It is an invitation. An invitation to understand each other. An invitation to grow. An invitation to transform your marriage into something stronger than you ever expected. There is a pause here. A quiet moment where you let those thoughts settle. Because this topic is tender. It touches the ego. It touches old insecurities. It touches places inside us we have never put into words. And that is precisely why it requires compassion. For yourself. And for the person you love. Let us begin with this truth. A mismatched sex drive does not mean one person is defective. It does not mean one partner is too much or too little. Desire is shaped by stress, hormones, personality, upbringing, trauma, energy, emotional safety, and the changing seasons of life. Some people express love through touch. Some express it through words or acts of service or quiet presence. Some feel desire rise with connection. Others feel connection rise with desire. And when these rhythms collide, what you feel is not incompatibility. What you feel is the friction created when two human beings live honestly beside one another. For the one who wants more, there is often a sense of longing. A feeling that intimacy is the bridge that helps them feel close, understood, validated, desired. When that need goes unmet, it hurts. It feels like a piece of the relationship is slipping away. It feels like they are reaching out their hand only to grasp empty air. And over time, that emptiness can turn into resentment if it is not understood. For the one who wants less, there is often a pressure they did not ask for. A fear of letting their partner down. A fear of becoming the source of exhaustion or disappointment. Sometimes there is a physical reason. Sometimes an emotional one. Sometimes life has drained the energy needed for intimacy. And sometimes desire needs a different kind of spark. But whatever the reason, they carry guilt quietly. And guilt grows heavy when spoken by no one. Now pause with me again. Let that sink in. Both people are hurting. Both people are longing to feel understood. Both people believe they are the one failing the relationship. And yet both are simply being human. What if this struggle did not have to divide you? What if it could teach you to see each other with new eyes? What if mismatched desire could become a pathway to intimacy deeper than physical connection alone? To do that, you must be willing to speak honestly without blame. Many couples end up in a silent war where one pushes and the other pulls away. The pushing partner believes they are fighting for closeness. The withdrawing partner believes they are defending their sense of safety. But in reality, both are trying to protect something fragile within themselves. When you speak without blame, you make room for truth to enter without causing harm. You might say, I miss feeling close to you. Or, I feel pressured and I need more emotional safety. Or, I want to understand what helps you feel connected. Or, I want us to find a way forward that honors both of us. These are not easy words. They require courage. They require humility. They require patience. But they open doors that silence cannot. As you navigate this together, remember this. Intimacy is more than frequency. It is connection. It is touch. It is affection that does not demand anything in return. It is speaking kindly. It is being present. It is offering reassurance without expectation. It is remembering what made you fall in love in the first place. Many couples discover that when emotional intimacy increases, physical intimacy naturally follows. And many discover that small acts of closeness matter more than grand gestures. Holding hands, sitting closer on the couch, sharing a quiet moment before sleep. These small acts reawaken desire not by force, but by presence. But there is another truth that must be acknowledged. Sometimes the issue goes deeper than communication. Sometimes the body itself needs support. Hormones shift. Stress overwhelms the nervous system. Medical conditions arise. Emotional trauma resurfaces. If this is the case, seeking help is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of commitment. You would not ignore a physical injury. You would not ignore emotional pain in other areas of your life. So do not ignore this. A healthy marriage is one where both partners are willing to grow, to learn, and to heal. There will be moments in this journey when it feels uncomfortable. Moments when one partner is tired of being patient. Moments when the other is tired of feeling inadequate. And in those moments, you must remind yourselves that you are building something that takes time. Growth rarely feels smooth. It comes with friction. But friction is not failure. Friction is movement. Imagine for a moment the day you look back on this struggle and see how far you have come. Imagine remembering the nights you almost gave up. Imagine feeling grateful you did not. Because the marriage you built on the other side of this challenge is stronger, deeper, more anchored in understanding than it ever could have been without it. Take another pause here. A long one. Because this is the turning point. This is where you decide if mismatched desire is going to be the place your marriage fractures or the place it strengthens. The truth is this: a perfect marriage does not exist. But a resilient one does. A resilient marriage is not made of flawless people. It is made of two people who decide to keep choosing each other even when the path ahead is unclear. Even when the solution does not come easily. Even when the emotions are complicated. They choose empathy over ego. Curiosity over defensiveness. Presence over avoidance. They choose love in its rawest, most human form. And so, to the one who feels undesired, know this. Your worth is not measured by how often you are touched. You are enough. You are lovable. You are wanted. Your partner's desire is not a reflection of your value. Their desire is shaped by their own inner world, not your absence of beauty or worth. And to the one who feels pressured, know this. Your value is not measured by how often you give your body. You are not failing your partner. You are not broken. You are allowed to move at a pace that honors your heart and mind. You deserve safety, patience, and understanding. Both of you deserve compassion. Both of you deserve to feel heard. Both of you deserve a connection built on truth rather than expectation. As you continue this journey, make room for joy. Make room for laughter. Make room for imperfect attempts at closeness. Make room for days when you succeed and days when you fall short. Make room for evolution. Desire is not fixed. It changes with time. It changes with healing. It changes with emotional warmth. A season of distance does not mean a lifetime of disconnection. A season of imbalance does not mean the relationship is doomed. It simply means that growth is needed. You are not the only couple facing this. You are not alone. And you are not powerless. You are building a partnership shaped not by ease, but by intention. Not by identical needs, but by shared commitment. Not by perfect alignment, but by the courage to bridge the gap between you. Take one final pause with me. A deep breath. A quiet moment of reflection. Ask yourself this: what kind of marriage do you want to build from this moment forward? Not the one that pretends everything is fine. Not the one that lets resentment whisper between the walls. But the marriage that walks through difficult conversations with gentleness. The marriage that finds creative ways to reconnect. The marriage that sees intimacy as a lifelong dance between two evolving hearts. If you choose that marriage, mismatched desire will not destroy you. Instead, it will deepen your understanding of one another. It will teach you to love in ways you never knew you could. It will stretch your compassion. It will strengthen your bond. And in the end, you will look back and realize that this challenge was not a curse. It was a catalyst. So speak honestly, listen bravely, love gently, and walk forward together, not as two people who must always want the same thing in the same way, but as two people who choose each other even when the rhythm feels different. That is the real heart of intimacy. Not perfect alignment, but unwavering connection. And your marriage can grow into that connection. Starting now.